Good morning. I'm so nervous. Uh, I wrote a song yesterday. Um, and instead of recording a video after I wrote it, I went live on TikTok for a couple of minutes. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I usually get like really nervous when talking in general. Um, sorry, I haven't washed my face. I like legit just woke up. I haven't washed my face or anything, and I didn't wash my face. And after I did my makeup, I completely forgot that I was wearing makeup. Um, and I was too tired to go and handle that, so I want to sing it. I titled it Ballet Flats. I'm so fucking scared. I also don't know whether you'll be able to hear me sing because there's so many other things going on, and I'll try not to cry. I will. I'll try. I'll try not to cry. But I like cried writing almost every single lyric. I'm in a very tender moment in my life. Because it feels like, you know how those sticky hands are like, even when pulling cotton candy apart, how like it's still like a cheese pull. It's still, I feel like that, but with my flesh. And it's me finally like tearing myself apart. And you know, when you separate from something, it's not a clean separation. It's not, it's done, you know? It's a pull. And I've been clawing and having to keep a stake in the ground and just going forward just for it, the elasticity to finally snap and break off. Sorry if that's too graphic. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put on glasses because that feels like another shield. I don't record my face often when singing. I used to do it when I was younger, but even then I was nervous. My phone has been doing some weird shit lately. Um, I know it's definitely time for me to switch. This was already an old model in the first place. I got a second hand from Back Market, but like it's been doing some weird shit. Uh, there was a time where I was doing something. I was either playing a game, and then it like the entire thing just froze. And even when I turned off my phone, it was just black screen, but it was on. It was weird, weird. And just now, I had to restart my phone because it was playing this short tidbit very, very quietly of I forget what the song was, like the name of the song. Um, but it's one of the songs that I have on my like songs list. Anyway, I was just playing it in the background, had no clue where it came from. Like nothing was open. So let me start a new videos just so it doesn't cut off because I don't know how long it'll take me to sing, and I don't want to be interrupted. Uh, but the song is called Ballet Flats. It has nothing to do with ballet, the song itself, but um, it's more of a callback in like healing a part of time in my life. Let's just go with that. Um, because when I was younger, when I was younger, I was really into ballet. I didn't say it, um, but I was. And again, I've mentioned Princess Tutu all the time, but Princess Tutu was legit one of the shows that I found myself, and I enjoyed it so much because it's ballet and how it could have these strong, dark, emotional themes through something so delicate. And I've always really liked that about ballet. The only other ballet I've seen in my lifetime has been the Nutcracker, and even then, I never fully paid attention to it or haven't seen the full thing. There was this point in time, um, after watching Princess Tutu, I also at some point was watching other things that had to do with ballet. I've always loved dancing. At a period of time, I was watching ballroom, but my sister threw on, it was this Australian show made in the 2000s. You could tell. It had a similar vibe to H2O, but it was like a ballet drama. It was a slice of life show where they went to a ballet school. And I remember during that time, because like the chair for me, the arm of our couch at the time was like the perfect height as a bar for um for practicing ballet. So I used to do a plie, and I don't know any like actual like not actual but like I don't know a lot of the terms in ballet. I found this channel um by these two girls, Ballet Rain, self-appointed ballet nerds, and honestly, it did it did feel something in me. Um, and it feels like it's really holding on to that child part of I could have, if given the chance, I would have at that time as a child. That's another thing. A lot of my tastes were very expensive out of the things that I was into because art is very expensive to go into, and it has very little payoff. When it pays off, it makes you a lot of money. But when when it doesn't and people only see the struggle, they don't see that it's worth it. And I'm like, if I had the chance, like my siblings had all done martial arts and stuff like that. So I was thinking like what kind of martial art, but like and I wasn't really allowed to do after school activities either. Um, I sometimes was able to do the play, but like really besides that I wasn't allowed extracurriculars, and that was part of like the thing that hurt when I was given opportunities like the National Honor Society, um, and like volunteer hours and stuff like that. I felt like I couldn't because even if I could go and volunteer, I, or even if I wanted to, or got accepted into an opportunity, I wouldn't have a way to consistently get there. In my head, I couldn't rationalize that, and a lot of the times they were like too far for me to walk because I knew I would have to walk because I didn't have any money. I don't have any money. I would have to walk. And even then, a lot of the times they would have to be in secret because I didn't feel comfortable telling people what I was doing. But anyway, if I could have done an extracurricular when I was younger, contrary to what everybody probably would have expected from me, which is probably something in the martial arts or anything, I probably would have went into gymnastics or ballet. Ballet more likely. Anyway, yeah. The song I named Ballet Flats because it's kind of in that same vein of sadness and wishing and longing. So I was always so afraid to give my love away. I thought it'd do less harm if I would keep. 'Cause every time they'd say it, a piece of me I'd give away. Distortions in the cracks began to seep. To give you my heart would call me a burden, so I'll show instead of tell. To hold up my heart, I know it would hurt them, so I held the love to myself. I know not what love is, for that I did not learn. I learned it best to hold it in bridges not to spurn. I learned to obey, to hide, to stay. I learned to shut my voice away. I was always so afraid to give my love away. Curtains instead of walls. Rapunzel in her tower, but no prince to come and say, my lady, let your locks down. To give you my heart, I know it is heavy, so I'll brace for it to break. To hold up my heart and know it must exhaust you. I see it through the shakes. I know not what love is, for that I did not learn. I learned it best to hold it in bridges not to spurn. I learned to obey, to hide, to stay. I learned to shut my voice away. So I know not what love is, and I'm scared to ever know. But I know what hurt means, and I'm afraid I'll always show. The still lost survivor, the honest provider, with no place I'd ever call a home. In case you couldn't tell, my eyes have gotten watery. Um, I did mess up a little bit, but yeah, that's the song. Um, and if you listen to it, I noticed it when I was writing it, but it was just like that's just the melody that came to my mind. But uh, somewhere over the rainbow, I was singing it this morning as well. What's it called? Somewhere over the rainbow. But I've always had this question of what my music style is. And I kept on looking through like modern stuff to see whether it could fit in any of that because I am a modern girl. But writing this one, and every single time I write straight from the heart, the melody is always something similar to that of either The Wizard of Oz or The Sound of Music. And I don't know whether I said that in a video before, but I used to watch The Sound of Music all the time, like all the time. That's like what, a 3 hour movie or something like that? Used to watch it all the time because, and like even to this day, how I remembered the scales is because of The Sound of Music. I knew the scales before going into music in school. Do, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself, a long way to run. Tea, drink mustard with bread. It'll bring us back to do. Right. Do we mi fa sol la ti do? But yeah, The Sound of Music, The Wizard of Oz, and Shirley Temple. Because I also used to watch Shirley Temple a lot. Um, Now I'm thinking, I am 16, going on 17. But yeah, that just tends to be how my music goes. Um, and the thing is, I've tried writing like rock songs, um, and yet they still sound so musical. They sound musical. I'm really good at writing songs for musicals. um, just they sound, but like okay, so there's a difference in between songs for musicals and musical sounding songs, and I'm definitely in musical sounding songs, but it sounds different. Sounds like you could tell when someone is a musical singer and not necessarily just like a singer. Um, no offense, I don't mean this in like an offensive way, but that guy who makes songs every day, he's the one who plays the piano, not the other one, but the one who wrote the bunnies song after the AI bunny video came out. Um, you could tell he has a voice of a person who sings musicals, like the perfect voice for musicals. I'm not talking about that. Like there is a difference in between a person who it's really in the nose, like you could hear it. They have like this, it sounds like I'm pointing right here, but I mean like behind the skull, behind the nose, and around this area. That's where you could hear the sound, and that's where the tone is coming from. Um, which again is, there's different techniques to get different way of singing. I don't know them because I didn't actually like study music. I didn't have like a vocal coach or anything. Um, so honestly, I probably learned some techniques that have harmed my voice more than aided it. But yeah, I went off track. I was talking about rock music. I'm not a rock singer, and I wanted to train my voice to do like metal music, but in order to do that, you literally have to like yell and uh I but anyway, was it Billie Holiday? Is that her name? The one who sings in my solitude, you taught me. That's another form of like where my musical inspiration is. Um, used to listen to not Frank Sinatra, but yes, Frank Sinatra is one of them. But who's that other one? The My Funny Valentine, sweet darling Valentine, you make me smile. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? You look so laughable, unphotographable. Yeah, you're my favorite work of art. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but yeah, like it's not that I don't like other songs, but like I feel I sound best singing that type of music. Yeah, so that was my song. Don't point out the flaws. I'm scared of criticism. Actually, I don't really. I care, but like I don't. Like I'll be able to move on. Um, it's cold because it's storming, and like it's only like this much brighter than when I fell asleep. It was still so bright because of the reflection off the snow. Um, but yeah, I'm tired as fuck. I might go back